Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to episode 1 of this new series. So as you guys know, I'm not from the US, but I love so many things about it. There are though some interesting observations that I've had, especially about the music. I've lived in the South for about a year right now, and obviously I've discovered Southern rock, a genre that started in the 70s but so popular even up to this day. The music, I find it very original. The bands are like pure talent and I really enjoy listening to it and discovering more and more every day. One question I have though is, why are the lead singers of some of the most famous bands and some incredibly inspired songs always talk about leaving the woman that they love behind in order to explore the world? And yeah, that's always like the theme of these songs. I'm specifically talking about 3 of the most iconic and famous songs in the Southern rock genre: the Allman Brothers' Ramblin Man, the Marshall Tucker Band, Heard It in a Love Song, and Free Bird by Leonard Skinner. And that made me think, is this a Southern man phenomenon? I cannot tell you how many times one of these songs came up when we were driving in a car and everybody started singing and talking about how romantic these songs are. And that again made me thinking that about like the lyrics and how they're actually not romantic. I mean, they're romantic, but they're not talking about like, oh, I love you so much. It's always about leaving, but they're such a happy songs and they're very catchy and they're like amazing. So having said that, we are going to have a 3-episode series watching these 3 songs back to back. We're going to start with the Ramblin Man by Allman Brothers. They were formed in Jacksonville, Florida, just as Skinner Band, which was also interesting to me. Unfortunately, Dwayne died in 1971 by a motorcycle crash, and also his other brother Greg had to battle with cancer and he passed away in 2017. Other members of the band also passed away, I think, except for one of them that has survived. All of them have passed away. But back to the song, the Ramblin' Man was basically tells the story of a drifter that is kind of like blown away from one town to the other. He was born on a Greyhound bus, so basically that's his destiny, to be rambling from here to the other, and he's trying to tell that to the love of his life and hope that she will understand that. So now let's go. So something that I really love about this song is just like the very beginning of the intro, like just the guitar solo that starts. Again, it's such an iconic beginning. I know I say the word iconic a lot, but I don't know what other words to describe that, because it's so interesting. And so if you guys know any other words for me to tell, because I was showing my videos to like a friend, I was like, you say iconic a lot. I was like, yeah, I think my vocabulary in English is not, it's not expanded enough to use other words, but also I don't know what other words to just use to kind of like wrap it in just one word. But yeah, again, and then again, it just reminds me of a lot of Persian songs growing up, that listening to it and then we actually dance to them in the parties. And then when you think about it, or like you listen to the lyrics, they are like talking about like, you betrayed me, and then talking about like how horrible that person is or how heartbroken I am. But then the rhythm and the music and the arrangement makes it like, okay, it's just definitely like party songs. They're like top 10 party songs. And then if you listen to them, they're like, oh, And this kind of reminds me of that, and I think it's just cool. I like it.
On my way to New Orleans this morning. I'm leaving out of Nashville, Tennessee. They always having a good time down on the highway, Lord. And them Delta women think the world of me. Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and do it the best I can. When it's time for leaving, hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man. Lord, 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 I was born a rambling man.
It's so cool because in many of these songs, specifically this song, the guitar is almost as important as the vocals. And that really shows the skills of the songwriting and like guitar playing and performing. It's so cool because if you listen to the track, like all the instruments without the vocals, it's still so cool to listen to. I mean, there are so many songs from like Allman Brothers that I loved, including Jessica, and that's also like pure like instruments, and that I don't think you even need vocals for that. And it's, I think this song as well, I know that the words are very like cool, and that's the whole point. If you remove all the vocals, it would still be a very cool song to listen to. Yeah, I don't want to pause in here, but I couldn't just not talk about kind of the groove and the rhythm of it. Uh, I feel like this is like the perfect tempo for this song. It's not too rushed, but it's also not lazy. But there is like a feeling that I don't know if it's right, but it's kind of like laid back, but it's because it's behind the beat a little bit, so it's not like right on the beat. That we have like a term in music that is kind of like behind the beat or like a little ahead of the beat, and I feel like this has like the behind the beat like feel to it. That's why it's kind of like it feels like it's more laid back, even though it doesn't feel lazy. It's still like moving and grooving, and I really love the guitar solo, especially the modulation part. I don't want to get into like the specific parts that is modulating, but it's so cool, and I wish I had that skill to just improvise like that, just on the spot. But I feel like it's again like it's such a freeing feeling to be able to do that. But unfortunately, classical music just doesn't let you improvise. So I'd never like I never improved that like uh, skill in myself. So I don't have it now. I can improvise a little bit, but not like for 3 minutes in a row. Not that cool, obviously. I wonder where the piano is, because I hear it from time to time, and it's again such a nice like counterpoint with the guitar solo that is going on. So it's not playing the same melody obviously, but it's kind of like going together, matching. So that's called counterpoint. That's like there are separate lines and they're very independent, but they're still like going together. It gives me like a baroque feel. So that was it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching me. Let me know what you think in the comment, and don't forget, this is just episode 1. We have 2 more episodes coming, and we're gonna call this series Southern Rock, the call of the open road, which I think kind of captures the whole like spirit of what we're talking about. But I wanted to like watch these songs with you guys, these 3 songs, for the longest time, and I'm so happy that I finally got the chance to do so. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.